I don't want sketchbooks anymore, especially watercolor sketchbooks, because when you buy them, they're so expensive and the papers suck, because of course brand be like, it's a sketchbook anyway, people are not going to make masterpieces in it, isn't it? This video, guys, is sponsored by Skillshare, an online learning community with more than 27,000 classes about a lot of different topics. You can take classes about marketing, about film production, photography, business, web development, etc. And of course, art classes. So if you want to learn something among all of these topics, I highly recommend you to try it out, because it's also very affordable with less than $10 per month with the annual subscription. That gives you access to all of the classes. But if you want to just try it out, Skillshare gave me a link for you guys. The first 500 of you that will use that link will get 2 months of premium Skillshare for free. So hurry up, it's plenty of time, and you can take a lot of classes in that amount of time. So yeah, let's move on to the video. Hi guys, I'm Vero. Welcome to my channel, and hello. Today I'm a bit dressed up because I just needed to dress up. You know, sometimes when you're an artist, you spend all the day in your pajama without makeup, just drawing at the desk. So I just needed to wear some red lipstick. Hopefully it's not on my teeth, because it makes me happy. Red is my favorite color. So yeah. In this video, I'm going to talk about the reasons why I don't use sketchbooks anymore and what I use instead of a sketchbook, which is basically these kind of albums, which is very full of frills, but you can make them differently. And I'm going to show you how you can make them later in this video, so keep on watching. Basically, I got tired of buying sketchbooks, especially watercolor ones, because they're never good. Let's be honest, brands be like, it's just a sketchbook, they don't need extra quality paper, isn't it? And the word be like, no, we need good quality paper sketchbook. And brand be like, okay, I'll make you pay like 50 euros for a A5 sketchbook then. And so what you can find on the market is low quality paper sketchbooks or very expensive sketchbooks, which is overpriced anyway. So I decided that I didn't want to buy watercolor sketchbooks anymore, and I started to make drawings and paintings on loose paper, which you know, I'm messy, I lose everything I do. Of course, all the drawings that I had done were on the floor, laying on the floor, under things, disappeared. So I just needed a place to store these things that was more convenient, that I could kind of use like a sketchbook, but not quite. So I decided to use this kind of album system, which is basically in Italy, some brands of paper, they sell paper pads, but they're not glued on any sides. They have these like corners where corners where the paper is in, and I decided to make something like this. So I'm gonna tell you now what are the cool things about having these things. First of all, I have a lot of sketchbooks at home and I have no space anymore. Plus, when you buy a watercolor sketchbook, you have this huge pressure on, because you don't want to ruin it, because you pay a lot for it, probably, most likely. And it's like, well, nope, I'll never use it, or you are too careful with it. At some point, I stopped buying sketchbooks and I started to make them on my own, which is fine. Bookbinding is easy, it's fine, but I still treat my sketchbooks, even with watercolor paper, as sketchbooks. So there are certain parts of my sketchbook that are like shit, and I would like to throw away, but I just don't feel like ripping apart my sketchbook, because it might fall apart on its own if I rip too many pages. So I have a lot of space occupied by all of these crap that it's in my sketchbook, that it's taking a lot of space on my bookshelf. So I decided to to use loose paper, because this way I can throw away the not important stuff. In this way I can scan my work, I can sell it, I can frame it, because I don't have to rip it apart. And plus, what I do with this is that I use the paper. I don't store the paper immediately, the drawing immediately after finishing it. I keep all the drawings here until I finish all the blank pages, so that at the end I will choose between the good drawings and the bad drawings, and I will make a selection. I just don't want to have unnecessary things around me anymore, and I'm trying to get rid of the useless. You can also choose, I do it in A5 format because this is what I use mostly, but if you have a specific size of pages that you like to use, you can make it in that size. There is no rule, you can make it in any size you want, even a weird shaped one. So these are the reasons why I use this kind of sketchbook now, which is not really a sketchbook, it's an album where I keep loose paper. It's nice because even though it's loose paper, you can bring it around with you like a sketchbook, and you can paint directly on it because the elastics keep the paper flat and stretched, Plus, you can get rid of warping when it comes to a loose page, but you can't really do it when it comes to sketchbooks. It's very difficult to remove warpness from sketchbook pages. Instead, with loose paper, you can very easily get rid of it. So, because I can actually use the things that I draw using this, and it's like I can scan it, I can do other things with them. It's not gonna be just in my sketchbook, it's gonna be whatever I want it to be. It's just not lost in a sketchbook. Now I'll leave you to the rest of the video where I show you how I make these, and you can make it with any material. I'll leave you to the rest of the video for the tutorial. Finally, I talk too much. Hello, welcome to the voiceover part of this video. These are the things that you need. First of all, 3 pieces of cardboard in the size you want your album to be, some paper or fabric of your choice to cover the ugly cardboard and decor the album, and some ribbons or elastics and some glue. To begin with, I'm going to cover the cardboard with some paper. I'm just using vinyl/Elmer's glue, and if you find it too thick and you have difficulties to spread it on the cardboard, you can dilute it with a little bit of water. And then you just stick the paper onto the cardboard. I decided to make this album in 2 colors, pastel blue on the outside and yellow on the inside. So I will cover 2 of the cardboards with blue paper and 1 with yellow paper. To make it dry flat, I put them under a lot of books or any kind of weight and wait for it to dry. Once it's dry, I'm going to refine the inner part, so I'm cutting the excess paper and the corners so that I can have a clean fold, and I'm just sticking those flaps on the cardboard with glue stick because it dries faster, but I'm putting some tape anyway just until the glue dries to make it adhere better to the cardboard. I'm going to use different kinds of glue for this project in this video because I'm filming and I can't waste time waiting for the glue to dry. But you can use only vinyl glue for all of it. I repeat this process for all of the cardboards, and that's it. Once everything is dried, it's time to start assemble everything. I'm going to make it a landscape format, but you can do it in a portrait format as well, just by changing the position of the cardboard. The yellow part goes on the inside, and it's the part that will hold the paper. Actually, guys, it's better if the cardboard that goes on the inside it's a little bit thinner so that it wouldn't add more thickness to the album, but it's fine, just use whatever you have. To make the corners, you can use paper, ribbons or elastics. I think that using the ribbon or the paper it's good if you want your album to be rather thin because it will be more stable. With those methods, you can only fit a certain amount of paper in the album, and you can't even put less paper because the corners would be too loose. So at the end, I ended up replacing the ribbon with the elastic because this way I can fit all the paper I want. The process is the same anyway. You have to always measure the elastic with the maximum amount of paper that you want to fit in the album, but you have to pull the elastics, otherwise it would be too loose. You can glue this with a glue that dries fast, or for example a glue gun, especially with the elastics because they don't stay in place and like you have to glue them as soon as possible. If you use ribbon or paper, you can use any kind of glue of your liking, of your choice. Once you have all of that, you have to measure the thickness of the spine of the album because now we're gonna make the spine. You have to measure it so that you can cut the paper to size. To glue it precisely, I put a ruler on top. I aligned the cardboard and I marked it on the ruler where I wanted to glue the paper, so I could glue it very precisely. This is the part where you have to decide how you want your album to close. You can use a ribbon and glue it to the side so that you can tie a knot on the sides, or you can use an elastic and make it close more like a moleskin. And there are many ways you can do it, actually, like free your imagination. With this one, I want the knot to be on the front, so I'm just gluing the ribbon in this way, just like a moleskin, but instead of an elastic is a ribbon, and yeah, there's a nice bow in the front, and I just liked it that way. Once you've done with that, it's time to finish things up. I'm gluing the yellow paper on the inside to hide the cardboard. I cut it slightly longer and narrower so that I can have a nice border around, and I cut it longer enough so it goes over the spine. I'm sticking this with glue stick as well, and now you just have to glue the yellow cardboard that holds the paper on the other side, and you're done. You can use vinyl glue or hot glue or wrappy glue to do this. It's up to you, and that's it. This is how it looks like with the elastics instead of the ribbon inside. You can use colorful elastics, but I just didn't have one. I just only had these. At the end, I even cut the points of the ribbon to make it cuter and used like a lighter onto it to melt it a bit, so to avoid fraying. Because this is just a synthetic ribbon, I can do it, but I don't know if you can do it with like a silk ribbon. I don't think so. Anyway, that's it. Hey, this is how I made this. I hope you find it helpful, useful. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if this is a good alternative to a normal sketchbook, if you feel like doing it, and yeah, tag me on Instagram if you make it, so I will see like your beautiful creations. I know it's gonna be crazy because this is crazy customizable. So yeah, so let me know what you think, and see you next time. Bye. I'm so hungry, I need to eat.